Hi, I'm Bopsto, the Elder Weeb,
And I am Red, the bald-headed wonder,
and we are the Anime Boys.
the anime
Anime
boys. Let's
Boys.
get it, baby.
Let's get it. So
What we
yeah,
talking
hey,
about today, Bobsto?
man, today's the last day of
It
Psychopaths.
sure the
We're we're,
fuck
ra-
is, bro.
we're
Oh,
wrapping up season one.
this shit got crazy. Like,
Yeah, man, it's fucking
la-
good.
okay, on this podcast, we're going to be covering the last 4 episodes of the series, and that's just
Yep,
because there wasn't no sense in only doing 3
and
when
then
the
having
last, yeah,
one.
and just having
Yeah,
one as the finale. Although I could have made a whole episode just off that last episode if we would have done that,
probably.
but
hmm
we're not going to do that.
All right, well,
So,
before we dive into the meat of things, if you like this video, give us a like, comment, subscribe. We'd love
mhm,
to talk with you guys about Psychopaths.
please, we
I
we
feel
want
like there'd
that.
be a lot of good conversation had about it.
We want that energy. We want that community. We want you guys to kind of chime in, like, "Hey, what's up? You
Yeah,
guys suck." I mean, anything,
maybe,
I mean, I'll take you
maybe,
guys suck.
mhm.
But
Maybe even give us a little follow on Twitter.
yeah, we also got our Twitter up and running. Although,
Yep.
uh, damn it, what was I about to say? No, excuse me. We have our Twitter up and running, and we post our videos on there every Friday, as well on YouTube every Friday.
Yep.
So come and check us out, and you'll never have to
Mhm.
miss one of our videos. So
Come and see. Come and see.
come and
Um.
see.
So. So yeah. Well, I guess we'll hop into episode 19.
Yeah,
What would you?
baby. So
So,
episode 19 was kind of the political episode. It's like when you got to watching Attack on Titan and you got a whole season of nothing but like political action. That's what episode 19 was for the following episodes to come.
mhm.
Everything was falling into place
Yeah.
and shit was just, connecting to form the bigger picture.
Yeah. It's
So,
the setup,
right.
as you would.
So we get right back into action. Kogami's practicing his quick draw. Like
He's
his
getting that tactical reload down.
he's getting that he's getting that hand fastest hand in the west vibe going.
Yeah, man.
He's popping them reloads like crazy, and bro just steals Pop's ride, man.
Yeah, yeah, dude.
And
He's fucking riding out in the Night City with his fucking gear on.
yeah, so we got a whole new episode of who wears it better,
Yeah, man. I think
Kogami
the
or the
answer.
Sybil punks.
I think Kogami wears it
I
better.
think Kogami definitely wears it better. Judges,
Yeah, man. I
yep,
think they said. I think they said with Kogami.
judges.
I'm gonna
I'm
be
almost
honest.
certain that they went with Kogami. So,
So,
um,
shit's not looking good for Gino. He has a little appointment with his therapist. Shit's looking rough for him. His psychopath is becoming more clouded.
oh yeah, Gino's really starting to get shit fucked up. Like his hue's getting dangerous, but
hmm
he refuses treatment because he has too much shit on his brain. He's got too much shit going on.
Nah, man, I can't do that shit. Listen, if Akane can do that shit, I'm sure I can.
Yeah, I can do what Akane can do. Anything you can do, I can do better. Except when you're
Uh,
Gino and you suck balls.
yeah,
Because Gino is nothing but a young, worrisome baloney pony is what he is.
hmm
But after that we get shoved into. There were so many cuts to different people in this episode that
yeah.
it was almost impossible to keep up with.
So,
So it went from
so yeah,
Gino's therapy session to
there's
Kogami
a
meeting up with the old teacher from, I can't remember what episode we covered him on. Um,
yeah.
it was just the retired teacher who was teaching cops before the civil system was in effect.
hmm
And he opens up the door, and bro knew exactly what he was packing.
He's like, yo, man, you got a gun?
Kogami's like, "How? So you're a fucking psychic now?" And he's like, "No, just a slave to just a slave to analysis is all I am."
Yeah, man.
Like,
Um, they sit down. They have some. He's getting some breakfast ready, and we get
mm-hmm.
another cut over to a debrief happening where basically they got orders to either to capture Makishima and kill Kogami if they ever see Kogami.
Yeah, and can we just touch on the determination on Akane's face at this point? Holy
Yeah.
shit, this was crazy. She walked
Hmm.
in like balls ablazing. She's just like, yeah,
Yep.
I am the captain now.
Look at me. Look at me. I am the
I
captain
am the
now.
captain now. And she just runs in, and they're just talking about the next move. And Gino is just like, so our position right now is to save Makima. And dude, I can't get
Maybe
past.
Makishima. You said
I
Makima.
said Makishima. What's the difference? Like,
Oh man.
but I mean, really, tell me the difference. But
At least you know what Makishima's deal is.
yeah, I guess you're
You
right.
know.
But
But anyways, we're just getting way into other things. Anyways, yeah. So
Akane is sitting there. So you want us to bring in a mass murderer completely untouched, but put a bullet into an enforcer that we deem a criminal. And Gino's like,
mhm.
"Yep, uh huh."
Yep, that's right.
You got
Did I
it. You got
stutter?
it down. Like, did I fucking stutter? Yeah. Get your shit in check,
Hmm.
bitch. This is my
And
own
Akane,
private domicile, and I will not be harassed,
hmm
bitch.
and Akane is not really having it. She's
No,
not
she
really
is
liking this
not.
idea.
What's funny is that at this point in time, Akane breaks down Makishima's entire plan, dude. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, man.
She pretty much tells Gino that like, no, he's not trying to escape. He's gonna see this shit to the end because it's something that he started. He sees it as a
Yep.
game and we're all his pawns. And you're too
Hmm.
stupid to realize it. So get your shit together, get our team on point, and let's get this shit done.
Yeah, man. Come on. I'm fucking tired of this
Dude,
bullshit.
Akane grows
Kogumi's
the biggest of balls in these past few
Yeah, man. Yeah,
episodes.
yeah, dude. These next this entire handful of episodes is just almost every scene she's in. She's got the biggest fucking balls in the room.
She does, and it's crazy, man. Like
Yeah.
she goes crazy with it.
Uh-huh.
So
Um.
everybody
af-
at this point is trying to figure out like what happened to the old Akane? What's going
Yeah,
on
man.
here?
Oh shit! What the fuck happened here? Did you
Like,
get laid?
she's going crazy, dude. Like she's get laid. Kokomi's
get
not
laid?
here. Did she get laid?
Oh man. But after that we get this nice little scene with Akane and Shion where she's talking about how she's got almost this sort of like I guess you could say like guilt for the fact that no matter what horrible shit she's seen, her psychopath remains clear. The same color it's always been.
I love what Shion follows up here, and
Hmm.
if you really want to break it down, I mean, sure, there's a difference between your brain and your heart, okay? But
Hmm.
your brain controls your emotions.
Hmm.
So if you really think about it, she was wrong.
Hmm.
She was just simply trying to console her in a sense. But
Yeah.
they didn't touch on that, that's actually wrong. Like everything is connected to what your psychopaths would be in the show through your
Mhm.
brain, which is why the Sibyl system is made out of tons of brains. If you could
Yeah,
catch my
man.
drift, like it's not
Yeah, dude.
autonomous. It's all human brains with human nerve endings and human synapses. Like I did with human synapses, and
Yeah.
everything is being logically placed by tons of different brains. So,
Hmm.
take that, Shion. Sorry.
Man.
I just wanted to. I just want to take a little side note of that. I don't know why I was being such a dick about it in my notes, but man, I was letting Shion have it in my notes, bro.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
man. But no, but yeah, no, that's very much an interesting thing to bring up. Though at that point, oh, actually, no, never mind. I'm going to describe that because that wasn't going to be a good line of thought. But anyways, after that, we get Saiga's got some coffee.
oh yeah, that good
He's
old coffee.
making actual, real, genuine coffee. made from actual beans.
I love
And
this next scene. I'm gonna let you discuss it
this okay, this is a very dense fucking scene.
because I feel like you'll
So
explain the literary quotes better than me. So
somewhat well the issue is the philosophers and stuff mentioned are ones I'm not very familiar with. But basically they start having this talk about anarchism and
pretty much,
basically about how like the world like no matter what there's always going to be some kind of radical like it could be rightist leftist
right,
anyone that wants to try to anyone that's a radical could try to sow seeds of anarchism regardless of what their actual alignment is.
right.
And he then talks about how he mentions how I'm trying to think Kogami asks if Makishima what he would think Makishima would be placed with that, and he says, well, he does have the makings of an anarchist, but the Makishima is too destructive. He doesn't like as if like he like revels in like the destruction he causes rather than actually trying to dismantle something and make something new out of it.
Can I like hit a
Um,
small tidbit before we
yeah,
continue? So whenever the doctor or whatever he fucking, I imagine they call him doctor because he's got a doctorate.
he probably has a doctorate.
Um, but he mentions Weber's writings. I don't know who that is. I just marked it down because I heard him say Weber, which
Yeah.
is his view, Weber's view on what a perfect politician would be. And a perfect
Hmm.
politician in the mind of Weber, which is who they were quoting, is somebody who can make a logical decision without abstaining with emotions,
Hmm.
thoughts, like using like obsession, selfishness. They throw all that out the window, and also the same goes out the window with compassion, love. They have to throw everything out the window to make a decision for the higher power or to the fate of the people. And then Makishima, or excuse me, not Makishima, but Kogami. What's the difference? But Kogami,
Yeah.
uh, I like how they're just like, I wonder what Makishima would say if he was sitting right here. And I love
Yeah.
how Kogami was just like, okay, well, first of all, he would bring out Gulliver's Travels to rebuttal everything that you're trying to say right now by saying that, thinking that the view of a perfect politician is an actual fucking thing. He would simply tell
Uh-huh.
you that the view of perfection is nothing but an obstruction of the human society. So basically
Hmm.
it's him saying that there's no such thing as a perfect decision, and that's what he stands for by trying to do what he is doing by taking down the civil system, because the civil system thinks that they are a perfect design.
Hmm.
Sorry,
I like
I kind of just
yeah.
I wanted
No,
to
it's all good.
I kind of wanted to oversimplify it just because I loved the whole
Um
scene that they were talking
yeah, no,
about.
it's a really good scene. I really like how Kogami basically just almost perfectly pieces together what it would be like if Makishima was there
Right.
at that
And
moment.
see, that's what I loved so much about the scene,
Yeah.
because it was like he was
Um
sitting right there at the fucking table.
yeah.
It was so neat. It was so fucking neat.
Another interesting point I wanted to raise is that he Saiga, the professor guy, refers to Sybil as being the ultimate bureaucratic system,
Wait, what now? I'm
which
sorry.
the professor guy referred to the Sybil system as being the ultimate bureaucratic system,
Yes,
um, because of how it operates. It operates in a very bureaucratic manner.
exactly. Which is why he brought out Weber's writings,
Yep.
and why exactly Makishima would detest him. And
Hmm.
dude, I like I said, that scene was, I don't know, I absorbed so much of it, and usually like I space out when they're talking like about literary works, and it's not because I don't have the capability of absorbing. It's like nothing really hinges my curiosity as much as this scene did, talking about
Yeah.
perfect politicians and the view on the world and what actually makes the world perfect.
Well, I think it's
And
because with this one, it's like so much of Psychopaths is steeped in that kind of talk that it's just
exactly.
interesting. Like it's so, like it's full of talks like that,
Like I
and
said,
that's why it's a lot more interesting than say if it would be a take a scene from some other piece of media than having a scene where massive like philosophy is
hmm
discussed. Um,
and call it what you may, as shitty of a person Makishima actually is, I love Makishima's like thought process.
yeah,
Like
he's got
his
because like a lot of it's like it's not wrong. It's just the fact that he's the path he's chosen is to like cause chaos and kill people.
well, it's just the sense of his philosophy
Yeah.
and the fact that he fights for his philosophy is interesting to me. Like in the way that he causes such panic in society to get them to see and understand what the civil system actually is
Hmm.
amazing to me. But I'm sorry. I just really wanted to get that off my chest since we've gotten to the end here.
Hmm.
I just God, it
Yeah, it was,
there's so many good things about this anime, and we're gonna continue to keep going talking about these last few episodes. So
mhm.
continue, Bopsto. Sorry.
So this scene cuts over to where Gino is basically trying to is talking with the chief, trying to convince her to like you go, yo, like what's up with this shit? Um, I forgot what exactly he was trying to convince her of.
Wait, where are we at? I'm sorry.
It's a scene after Kogami sitting there. It's a scene with Gino and the chief.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So keep going. Sorry, I was just trying to
Uh,
catch up.
but basically, he's I'm trying to think. Like I said, I just have Gino convinces the chief in my notes. I'm trying to remember what he was trying to convince her
Okay, so
of.
Gino was
Uh,
trying to. Man, I absorbed the last few episodes like
hmm.
crazy. So Gino was in her office trying to convince her to let him be in the lead of trying to find
Oh,
Kogami.
oh yeah, because
But
Akane got placed in the
the
lead of
chief,
that.
yeah, the chief on like chief told Gino that the only way that he was able to take up that task is to focus on the Makashima mission. And only
Hmm.
then, if he obstructs them from doing their duty to fulfill that mission, are they able to act upon the case of Kogami. And that's whenever he leaves upset, and then the father son moment happens between Gino and Pops.
Yeah, because like there's this other thing. Basically, Gino was conflicted about them going for Kogami,
Yeah.
and he decides he would rather their team be the one to do it.
Right, because
However,
they know how he
Masaoka,
thinks.
yeah, and Masaoka's like, well, listen, you like now have like implicated the lives of the entirety of the team because of us taking this on.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, well, and then Gino just fucking whiffs back with, well, what? I'm pretty sure you're the one. I'm pretty sure you watched Kogami walk out of here. I'm pretty sure you helped them in some way.
Yeah,
And then Masaoka just fucking wasn't gonna have that shit.
bro. I love like in this
Yeah.
little tidbit here that Gino kind of opens up a little, and he talks about how he believes that everyone is leaving him to be a criminal,
Hmm.
and Pops is just I love Pop's rebuttal to it, essentially, which is Masaoka. I just call him Pops because everybody else calls him Pops. Um, Pop's rebuttal was there's a difference between being a criminal and being obsessed until you fulfill a job.
Hmm.
And that's the difference between an enforcer and an inspector. And that was an interesting, view. And I love how this
Hmm.
entire scene, Masaoka doesn't bat a fucking eye.
Yeah.
He still stands for what he believes in.
And he doesn't
Everybody,
even tell. He doesn't even tell me because he said that's a promise between men,
right? The
and so
only
he's just.
person who is not true to their goal in this entire series is Gino, because he
Yeah.
hasn't quite figured out what he is trying to do with his life, what his goals
Hmm.
actually are. But Pops and Kogami and Akane, they all found their place and they're sliding into it
Yeah.
and they're fulfilling their goals. And Gino doesn't understand that
Mm-hmm.
because he hasn't gotten to that point
It
yet.
is, it's also the fact that he's borderline obsessive with the fact that the two people that were closest to him are latent criminals,
Right. He
and
focuses so hard on trying to do
he
things the
sees it.
right way
Yeah,
that he
and
can't
he's so
see.
worried about other people becoming clouded that he doesn't pay attention to his own
Exactly.
like well-being,
Exactly.
and he doesn't see he doesn't see his current state as a problem because
Yeah.
he
He's too
feels like
busy.
he can.
He's, as Akane
Um,
put it, he is a worrier.
mhm,
And whether he sees that or not is a different issue, but he is. He is definitely a worrier.
yeah.
So,
We cut back to the chief, and the Brain Collective has made a decision,
yeah,
and
this
the chief's like,
is
"Well, I'm going to come back and see this shit because I don't quite fully, I don't have the processing power to understand this decision."
right. But it
Um,
is crazy. Like,
oh, it is.
when we
We'll
get
get
to
into
it,
more
we're
of
getting,
that
yeah, we'll get
in the
to
next
it.
episode.
It's
Um,
insane, dude. We get a little snippet of it in this
uh,
one,
we
but
we cut back to Kogami and Saiga, and
Kogami living that L life.
he's like, "All right, I want to show you something interesting. Here's this board I found of like basically people that were able to access servers that were not connected to Japan
Or the civil system.
or the civil system, and they're all and it's full of like professors and academics theorizing about how if one were to collapse the civil system, how would they do it? And
Right.
there's many different like suggestions on there's like leaking information to foreign countries, the usual stuff like that. And Kobe's
Which
like,
I don't see how leaking information to foreign countries
because
would cause.
not every country has a civil system implemented.
I get that.
So
I understand that.
if
But
another country, especially anyone tied to the United Nations, if they were to catch in that something was possibly violating human rights or something, then it could cause
I
need
don't
for
know.
other countries to intervene.
I feel like the better way of explaining that, or just a different theory
Yeah.
altogether, the same instance, like leaking information, but not to different foreign countries,
Mhm.
but leaking information from foreign countries into the civil system itself. Because
That's
imagine
just
all of these new, like unrecorded, sought out people being leaked into the civil system, and them not being able to like solidify an actual psychopaths of these people because they can't scan them. It would cause an overload
yeah.
of the system. I think that's kind of neat.
And then Kobe's like, I'm pretty sure these are just all crazy people. It's like, oh well, if this seems so funny to you, why don't you take a look at me and see which one
Right.
is the most humorous? And that's where you lock into um, a person talking about how if the food system were to be attacked, then it would cause almost a complete collapse of the system because 99% of Japan's food relies on these things called hyper oats, and there's a massive like granary
Completely like
that farms
automized.
that's automated, and it harvests all as all of Japan's hyper oat supplies all in one location.
Mm.
And the genome for it is so weak that they're highly susceptible to a virus attack if one were to get their hands on a virus.
Or as they described it, monogenous.
Monogenius, yeah. And that's where Komi's like, all right, so that must be what his plan is, and so he leaves.
God, I
And
love
without
how they
that,
break it down so
yeah.
fucking nice too.
Mhm.
Like,
And however, sadly, because of Saiga knowing of Kogami being there and aiding him with trying to find and kill Makishima, that now he's implicated, and now that if officials were to ever come to his place, he might be arrested.
yeah, which is kind of sad. like,
Yeah,
it's
but
just
he's like, well, I'm sure I at some point I had it coming for someone like me to be living out here
right.
out in the boonies.
Yeah, well, he did that because he hated the civil system to begin with.
Yeah,
Because
which
it took his
no
job away from him essentially.
hmm let's see. And Kogami is like, well, you know what? And Kogami says, well, don't worry about it too much because I feel like I'm the only one that can take out Makishima.
Right.
And then we get to the end where Akane is just chilling at a computer trying to figure out where the fuck Kogami is.
Right.
And all of a
And
sudden, the little Dominator bot rolls in.
God, this was so slick. Like
And then it
the
just opens up.
it's just yeah, it opens up to give her a Dominator. And at this point Akane's just like, okay. So she picks up the Dominator and the Dominator starts fucking talking to her, dude.
Yeah,
Like
tells her, hey, come to the spot. We will tell you the truth.
the truth,
And it's
the
the
whole
end of
truth, and nothing but
nothing
the
but the
truth.
truth. And that's where we end off. And we go to episode 20.
Yeah. Sorry about the lengthy tidbits there, but there was just so much to absorb in that one episode. It was hard not to.
Yeah.
So let's get into the action, baby. Let's.
So episode 20. Akane enters this nice little wall that folds out into a little staircase that leads deep below into the facility, down to where, as the Dominator says, here lies the heart of the heart and brain of the world.
And for anybody who hasn't
And-
like quite caught on yet, this is the plan from the Sibyl system.
Mm-hmm.
To
Which I
tell-
like how this one has pretty much confirmed that the Dominator is not just its own entity, but it's literally like the Sibyl system itself weaponized.
Yeah, everything is like it's like one giant singularity almost.
Yeah,
And-
it's as I said, a collective or like a hive mind
yeah.
of sorts.
So
Um,
yeah, so she gets
And-
down there and she learns the truth of what happened to
so do we want to just do this entire scene and then cut back over to the scene with Makishima? You think that'd be
yes.
better for conversation wise?
Yes,
Okay.
it would. It would flow better.
Okay. Okay, so she makes it down and she's given basically given like the speed rundown of of the true nature of the Sibyl system.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Well, is this where fucking Kaguri died?" And like Akane's like very at this point like she's like gritting her teeth and
She's
her
pissed.
voice is shaky. She is pissed. She is mad. It's like, "Is this where you fucking blew him up?" And then she proceeds to just roast the shit out of Sibyl.
And then Sibyl System's like, "What's up? You mad, little piss baby? Piss baby mad? Piss baby?"
Yeah, it's like, well, you're fucking useless. What good is it? You can't judge somebody. You can't judge somebody, and the one person that does come down here, you just fucking kill right on the spot.
Dude,
what the fuck's wrong with you?
I love how automated and how conformed the answers that Sybil was giving. Because at one point she's just like, well, compared to the rest of the Sybil system, his needs of or his the risk of letting him go and having him leak the information of what the Sybil system actually is is far like less significant than what the Sybil system is as a whole. So we did what we deemed necessary. We used our Joybot to blow his brains out.
Yeah, man. our fucking joy toy. Damn. But so basically, we find out that basically it's because of how complex the Sybil system is, it can't really ever hope to be a perfect system.
Boston, you gonna get arrested, dude?
Oh man, dude, sorry, man. I
The
must
Sybil
have committed
system
crime.
found us
The
out.
Sybil system's fucking after me, dude.
We were talking about we were talking about terrorism on the Sybil system, bro.
I should, man. I'm sorry, man. I'm about to be taken away.
Bobsto, no.
But anyway, so basically, the Sybil system talks about how it can't really ever hope to become a perfect system because of how complex it is, and that basically the system is striving towards reaching a universal standard that I think it has, but there's still some things to be ironed out with it.
I love how in the same conversation, it went from them being the perfect, form of democracy,
Yeah,
to the universal standard, and
then
like they basically just roasted themselves in the conversation by calling themselves a universal standard.
And here's why we actually know why they have such an interest in Makishima's brain, because if they feel like that it can be an invaluable resource into helping perfect the Sibyl system, because each time a new brain is added, the better and the more efficient it becomes.
Which it kind of blows my mind that they didn't ask Akane to join, because I am
Yeah.
almost certain that is what she is. She just found a better path.
Perhaps, however, she also can have her other uses as well, as we'll get into later on.
Right.
But for a system that claims to be so, I have this written down in my notes later. For a system that claims to be so impartial towards judging people, it has a very odd bias for Akane.
Yeah, it does, and it's
Very
because
much.
I go ahead. I'll let you finish what
Oh,
you
no,
said.
no, I was just gonna say that it's just very much like super biased towards her.
Yeah, because they see that she is able to handle all this information because of her ability to handle her psychopath so well.
And she's still she's getting big mad because she's like, oh, you still trying to appear as all knowing even though you're fucking not. And then it just hits her with, well, we prefer you because your fucking team's falling apart. And
You're the only person who
it's
has
in
a
desperate
like
need
of
a good leader.
It needs a better hand to feed. Because
Oh.
Gino's losing his fucking grip, bro.
Even though part of it is because the fucking system just completely gaslit Gino.
Yeah,
like part of why, like, listen, part of it is like the civil system. Part of it is the civil. Blah, damn it. Part of it is the civil system's fault for why the team's falling apart.
Yeah, because of
Because it fucking took out Kakari, and then it just one thing led to another, and then they just completely blamed fucking Gino for it, which
dude,
causes
Gino
his
was
stress
just
to
the
rise.
fall man, bro. I feel so
Yeah, he
bad
is
for
the fall
Gino.
guy.
Like, he was just there at the wrong time, bro. He really was. But now that we've gotten that out of the way,
we could talk about Makishima, because that
yes.
scene technically happened first, but since the episode opened on Akane finding the place, it would have been a lot better flow wise.
Should we talk about the deal, or should we wait for that?
We'll wait for the deal.
As she was coming back from.
Yeah.
We should talk about that after
wait for
we
the
cover
deal.
this scene.
We'll wait for that, because there's also another little scene involving Akane and whatnot. But
that's what I was talking about. That scene.
Yeah. So, anyways, Makishima is talking with a rather portly professor. He's basically one of the lead. He's a guy that basically developed a pesticide for the hyperotes. And he's like, oh, it's nice to have someone as young as you come and have such interest in my work. And at first I thought, oh, maybe this guy's like maybe collaborating with him to try to bring down the hyperotes. However,
I was thinking the same fucking thing, bro.
And then Makishima starts talking about, well, the security is pretty weak for the housing of this virus. The simple biometric scanners and whatnot, because they didn't see the need to update it with
it's because like the
cybernetic scans.
The countryside is completely isolated now. Like nobody lives out there, so they didn't feel the need to having such security involved. So I can kind of see that in a sense.
And it's like, and also the virus itself is very easy to modify and completely destroy all the crops. And at that point, the professor's mood changes, and that's when you find out, oh, this guy just thought he was gonna come here to talk about fucking agriculture.
Like, I just thought you was a journalist, bro, not a fucking murderer.
And then Makishima is like, well, do you mind, in a very funny way, he goes, you mind giving me a hand with that?
Dude,
as he whips out his fucking ring.
He does, bro. And that cuts us into Kogami. Kogami busts in through the door and sees that bro got murdered.
Man.
Oh man, this man got mutilated. His eyes are missing, his fucking fingers are gone, his throat was slit, and Kogami is running into the room trying to get information on where Makishima went, and then it cuts us back over to Akane.
Yeah.
Um,
So here's where we talk about her multiple what I call mental conversations,
mental coverage.
her
This
hypotheticals.
this was such a neat. I almost forgot about this part, but yeah,
Yeah.
this part was neat
So
because
it first starts
ah,
with a flashback to where she's chilling with Yuki and her other friend. It's the day that they took their aptitude tests, and basically just them finding out, oh shit, Akane did really good. She basically has her entire life had um planned out for her, where she can choose anything she wants.
yeah, but
And
Akane
Akane's
finds it as a
unsure.
whole in the Sibyl system because she has so many goddamn choices. What should
Hmm.
she actually be in life?
And then
So
that cuts back to Kaguri when he was talking with her about how, the previous conversation that they had
we didn't
where
get to hear this
he's
conversation.
we heard a
Um,
piece of it where he's like, well, you're very lucky. Where he was mad at her for having so many options, but then there's some more added to it
that we didn't get to listen
that I
to.
didn't get to listen to.
And I'm so glad that they touched on because I hate it when animes will say, like, a character will say something in somebody's ear and you won't hear them say it and then they never touch back on it.
Hmm.
I know there's several. I mean, Your Lie in April is one of them.
Yeah.
God, I hated that, until like at the very end, you didn't find out what she said. Uh,
Hmm.
there's just so many
But
instances.
it's just that's just the way that some people build suspense with an anime. It's
I
just
get
how it
it, but
be.
like sometimes they don't touch back on it.
Hmm.
So that annoys me. Like, don't
But
don't do that.
and then we cut over to where she has a hypothetical conversation with Makishima in this really pretty daylight version of Nona Tower.
Yeah, this is
Hmm.
awesome, dude.
And it's got the fucking choir in the background, and
Mm-hmm.
basically Makishima, he goes down. He's like talking about how people have like no value if they are unable to choose for themselves or act on their own will.
Yeah.
And then Akane is like, well, you know what? Fuck, fuck you.
Fuck you. So I just noticed one of my notes, but like before this happened, um, you remember the teary POV shot?
Yeah,
Oh my god, like the third, or excuse me, first person view of her crying, you could see her
yeah. That.
tears in her eyes, bro.
Mm-hmm. That's really
That
good.
was sick. Like, but go ahead, sorry. I just
Yeah,
I just saw my
and
note.
then the last one is she's got another little mental hypothetical conversation with Yuki, where basically Yuki was talking about how she had nothing to worry about because she was in a system where everyone could take care of her, and then Akane very tearfully um says, well, I don't know. I forgot what she fully says, like something
You
along the lines of
had
like,
you had all the you had all the options in the world
yeah,
to fix that, and as long as you were alive,
uh-huh,
and
yeah,
that's what she
yeah.
said.
That's what she said. Yeah. And then after that, she fucking comes to because Gino wakes her up. She's like, "Get your bitch ass over the headquarters right now."
Yeah, we found Kogami's prints all over this murder scene.
Yeah. And Akane is just like, all right, Sybil, I'm gonna about to grab you by the fucking balls.
So how about you do what I say?
Here, listen. I'll get Makishima for you, but if I do, you rescind Kogami's execution order. And it's like, well, I don't know. It's like, and then Akane's like, listen, I'll just fucking kill Makishima myself if you don't.
And if you don't like it, here, shoot me.
Yeah, you can just kill me right now. And then basically the civil stuff's like, okay, we will, but you have to get Makishima. And if you guys see Kogami first, the order still stands.
Yeah.
And so they get over, Kogami's prince from the scene. And he's like,
This
and at this
this
point,
was
Kogami is
crazy, by
multiple
the way.
steps ahead of them.
Multiple, more than multiple.
Yeah.
But I kind
And
of want to cover this one because this scene's
okay,
fucking awesome.
yeah, it is.
So, like they're all like scrubbing down, trying to figure out, what was like. At first, that they got a call from the neighbors saying that a guy with a helmet was snooping around, so they immediately thought of Kogami. I almost said Kakaguri. um, but immediately thought of Kogami. So they were going door to door until they saw a breach of security in that house. So they go in, they see this guy murdered, mutilated, and just laid out. And they all of a sudden, just to drop of a hat, start pinning all this on Kogami. And, that's what Makishima wanted. They wanted him to pin all this on Kogami. Because Makishima definitely knew that he was followed by Kogami. But what was funny is Akane comes in and immediately defends him. So since Kogami is after Makishima, wouldn't it make more sense that Kogami rushed over here to get as much information as he could to find out exactly where he is so that he could hunt him down? What would be the benefit in killing this man?
Yeah.
And this was really cool because she finally she just gets up and starts going around the room, and she's just like, so at this point in the series, it's just like it turns into a giant what would Kogami do situation. And she's just like, she's breaking the whole system down and breaking down each step, and she's just like, so it would make sense to understand that this man was connected to the plan of he was connected to the plant that's automated for our food supply. Okay. So given that information, we know Makishima would be heading that way since Kogami come over here to dust down. So in retrospect, what would Kogami do to help us lead us through? Because that's exactly what he's doing. He is leading us along to have him give him a bigger, opening window to take down Makishima. So she immediately thinks about it. She's like, has this body been scanned yet? And they're like, no, forensics hasn't been here yet. She's like, get me some fucking gloves.
Yeah, dude.
And Pops is like, hey, just let them handle it. And she's just like, if we do that, how long is it going to take us to get to Makishima? And is it going to be too late? So she goes in here and just digs in this man's throat.
Yeah.
I love this shot.
Well, first the little bot detects something within the throat, and that's where it leads her to
right. There's a metal piece inside of his throat. And there was a little side tidbit whenever she was explaining this process. Gino saw and heard Makishima through Akane because she was speaking just like Makishima would. And I thought that was kind of neat too. So she starts digging around in this man's fucking throat and then pulls out this weird fucking sliver of like, it's a machine or, something. But she pulls it up and scans it, and it was an audio file. And who's on the audio file? None other than
Kogami.
Yeah, I mean Kogami.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to say Makishima during the. Did I describe Makishima when I was talking about Gino?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, I said Kogami. Good, because I'm getting them two mixed up way too fast. Kogami pretty much breaks down and tells them that hey, he's after the food supply. He's trying to shut down the entire food supply to take down society in a sense so that civil system will be crashed. And then immediately Gino's just that's fucking chemical warfare. Like, like that this is what is it? What did he call it? It was something terrorism?
Chemical terrorism?
I don't think it was chemical terrorism, but they immediately jumped to the scene, and that was it. Man, this was so fucking cool though. So we just get this sick ass like guitar solo exit music of Makishima breaking into the factory, and Kogami is right on his heels, sitting in the background trying to figure out his next fucking move. And guess what? So is public safety, and that gets us into episode
21.
And
so,
if that sounded crazy, if this is just captivating to you, the next two episodes are gonna make you fucking just.
You're gonna jizz. You're gonna
jizz. That's
you're
about
gonna
it.
jizz
In my pants.
In my pants. Exactly. That's gonna happen. So anyway, so the episode opens up. Team loads up on the sweet ass aircraft.
Public
About
safety takes to the skies.
They head out to the granary, all while Makishima's big chillin', and he's talking with he's talking with the his little baby virus. He's like, "Have you ever heard of VeggieTales?"
Makishima's like had to do this like whole prefectural reading before the deed gets done.
Yeah, man. He's sitting there. He's
VeggieTales.
talking about VeggieTales. You know, he's going, "If you like to talk
to tomatoes, to see them smile."
Yeah, man. Exactly. He's telling the virus all about VeggieTales.
He's reading the virus a bedtime story.
Yeah, he's reading a nice little Bible story that's also having to do with
Bible story.
wheat
I
and
forgot
whatnot.
that VeggieTales like covered Bible stories and shit.
That's the big thing with that's the entire point of VeggieTales.
I haven't watched VeggieTales since I was like 6, maybe before.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
That shit has aged like fine wine.
Oh man, it's so memey and funny.
It's good.
It's so goddamn good.
Alright, and then so we get this nice big old shot of the field. Kogami is making his way through the grain. This is a pretty fucking insane Stardew farm.
Dude, this Stardew farm needs like 5 stars. Like
they completely invested in wheat.
Dude, definitely. They're nothing but alcoholics, bro. They're doing nothing but beer.
They're making that beer.
And the centerpiece is nothing but this giant automated keg.
Yeah, dude. But sadly, Kogami can't bypass security because he has none of the biometric shit.
None of it that Makishima
had.
And Makishima used like this man's eyeball and his fingers to bypass the biometric system.
Mm-hmm.
So,
however, all's not lost for Kogami because Akane and crew also show up around this time as well.
Kogami was impressed that Akane picked up on it so fast.
Mm-hmm.
So the cops are first on the scene, except for, Makishima, and are ready to fuck. They get this slow ass like door opening scene, like some fucking NCPD shit. I said NCPD, dude. I've been playing way too much fucking cyberpunk, bro.
Yeah.
I'm at NCIS, dude. I said NCPD. Oh my gosh. And so they get down and they're just like, this place is fucking huge. We're never gonna find this man. And Kogami calls them. And Akane answers the call. She's like, "What's up, bitch? What you got for me?" Kogami's just like, "So I see that you finally figured out my little clues. So why don't you go ahead and save our country and turn the power off?" And Akane's just like, "I'm not going to do that because that's going to jeopardize our mission in order to retrieve Makishima."
Mm-hmm.
So
because
why
your
would
bitch
I do
ass
that?
is just gonna rush in and take advantage of the lack of security.
Right. And it's like... And Makishima's just like, "Well, just let your country down then and let everybody fucking die, you ungrateful, heartless bitch." And he hangs up the phone. And eventually, yeah, they turn the fucking power off. Because Kogami's right. I mean... So they turn the power off, being their only option. And... we get this little scene of Akane being way too trustworthy of the civil system, in my own opinion. And by making a deal, because by turning off the power, she realizes that Kogami is going to make his move. So she pretty much tells the other guys, they're like, "Hey, if you see Kogami, let me know before you shoot, and let me come down there." And they're just like, "Well, why? Why would we do that?" And she's just like, "Well, I've got a trump card."
And
And we
then
get this little,
immediately we get
yeah,
this little scene where basically she's able to convince the civil system to make her dominator to where the safety is always off and it's only set to stun mode.
yeah, this shit's, and
And
it's
man,
so good because, and then we get this little scene with Pops, who's worried for Akane, and she's just like, "Really, you're
man,
worried about me? Why don't you pull out
man,
your fucking gun, point it to my head, and pull the goddamn trigger, you
man,
pussy?"
man, Akane, I'm concerned about your vibe, but why don't you your bitch ass do a fucking vibe check on me then?
Yeah, vibe check me, dog,
Vibe
bro.
check me.
Come on, you'll see that my vibe is real, dog. We're here, 100%, dog.
My vibe is clear.
And he points the gun at her, and yeah, its readings 27%. And dude, she's smooth, like just such a
Yeah,
smooth
man.
response. She's like, "I'm pretty sure I'm the only one that Sybil System really wants here," and I'm like, "God damn, dude!
Yeah,
Oh
man.
man,
Sadly, Makishima's reading light gets rudely shut off.
yeah." And dude, Makishima is
Yeah, and
like
he's fucking
baffled. He's just like, "Yeah,
yeah.
not bad for the fucking police,
And then so
fucking
Kogumi's rushing in.
pigs."
Fucking Makishima is loaded with dynamite.
Dynamite just everywhere, dude. Kogami uses this opportunity to just rush the fuck in.
Yeah.
And now the
Um,
three-way begins, bro.
yeah, man. So Akane and Yayoi make their way for the server room, and she puts Gino and Masaoka together so they can have a little father-son bonding moment.
Yeah, essentially, but the the real goal was so that they could split up and
They
cover
could
more
split up,
ground.
yeah. Yeah, so that they could like they were tasked with trying to go down and see if Makishima's down below.
Well, one of them was trying to
And
go after Makishima, and the other one was trying to go after Kogami.
Kogami, yeah, that's what it was.
And they were assigned to go after Kogami, and then Akane was going to see where she thought Makishima would be.
Hmm.
Of course, she was fucking wrong. I love this little talk before we get there, though, between Akane and what's her face? I can't remember her name.
Yayoi,
Yayoi. And
yeah.
basically, she's just like, at first I thought you were just this, gullible little
I
girl
thought
who would never make
I
it any further.
I
Huh?
thought you were a fucking basic ass Becky.
Yeah, I thought you were a basic bitch. like, and I love it because at this point, Akane is just like super strong willed, and the whole team is starting to see her as a valuable member of the team.
Hmm.
Um, but that moves us into proving that she is not as smart as Kogami is
Yeah,
by
man.
going to the wrong location. She gets to the server room and she's just like, why isn't he here? This just proves that Kogami knows exactly where he would be. But why wouldn't he choose this place? And she does a little thinking, and then she's just like, oh no.
Shit. Oh no, I gotta get down there
Kino!
immediately.
Run, Forrest! Run! And she tells Yayoi, don't leave this fucking spot. If he comes here, you blast him. Take out this desktop. and so she's running, and we get this little cut over to Gino and Pops. And of course, Gino still has his little panties in a wad about Kogami, and Pops just doing this little coup about letting Kogami just walk out the door. And but the truth is that Makishima at this very moment is targeting Pops and Gino. And Gino, unfortunately, fell right into Makishima's trap. They were walking, and Pops sees this little red, line, and he dips down. He's trying to realize what it is, and before it's too late, he tells Gino to don't move, but Gino done set up triggered a trap.
He's fucking triggered a little
And
tripwire
these
that
giant fucking metal containers just land on top of Gino, and he
yeah,
is fucked. Gino is just
super fucked.
fucked right now. His arm is crushed underneath these fucking things. I'm sure he's got broke ribs and legs too, but
Yeah, man.
most of it was his arm. Um,
And then in comes fucking Makishima. He's got
Yeah.
his dope ass like it's like a belt, I think, like some kind of like whip belt.
Dude, yeah, it's like a dynamite whip belt. It's just
Yeah,
it's
dude.
and Pops is about to get into a fight. He is way too old for,
He
bro. Like,
whips out his fucking baton. They're clashing. You can hear the fucking Half-Life metal clang sound effect.
oh yeah, dude, because Makishima goes to shoot him with the staple gun or the nail gun. And dude, this that was actually kind of cool because Pops threw his fucking metal arm up to catch the
Yeah,
nails, like split second decision, saved his
yeah,
life.
dude.
And he just rushes in and puts him into a fucking headlock, brings him down, puts him into a fucking, I don't even know what to call that maneuver, but just basically holding him. And Makishima just takes a piece of dynamite out,
It's like, oh,
sketches
what,
it on the
you
fucking
gonna
ground.
fucking blow? It's like, you know what? It's time for Masaoka. Time for a good old fashioned Makishima ultimatum.
Dude, yeah. And Masaoka is just like, oh, so you're going to blow us both up? Is that your fucking plan? And Makishima's just like, now why would I go and do something that fucking stupid?
Nah,
And he
man.
looks over at Gino. Gino's trapped. He can't fucking move. He's crushed by
Yeah.
boxes right now. And he throws the dynamite over to Gino. And Masaoka is just forced with this fucking decision. Should I save Gino and take down Makishima? Or excuse me, should I leave Gino alone and let him die and take it down Makishima? Or should I
Hmm.
save my son? And of course, a dad being a dad, he lets Makishima go, goes to grab the dynamite, goes to throw
Uh-huh.
it, and it blows
And
his
it just
fucking
fucking blows
shit
up.
away, dude.
Yeah, dude.
This part is insane.
Yeah,
Makishima
dude. It's
uh
it's fucking
yeah.
nuts.
So Gino just rips him. Okay, this scene reminds me a lot of Guts breaking
Yeah.
out of the fucking like mouth of that monster and just ripping
Uh-huh.
his arm off. Uh, Gino pretty much does the same thing with these containers, except he doesn't rip his arm all the way off. You could tell that it's
It's
broken.
hanging by a thread.
Like you could tell it's fucking
It
broken
is.
because it's just waving in the wind.
Uh-huh.
And but you could hear the crushing and pulling and tearing as he pulled it out from under the fucking container.
It's
And he goes
it's
over to
really
Pops, and
fucking gruesome.
Pops is
And dude,
fucked, dude.
his fucking arm has a crate. Like,
Dude,
where
it's
his armor is just a big old
imploded.
fucking crater.
His whole fucking like arm was imploded into
Yeah.
itself. It was fucking nasty looking and gruesome.
Uh-huh.
Gosh, it was grotesque. Um, and
And
Kogami just comes in and starts fucking blasting because he found, and then Makishima, being Makishima, slips away somehow. Little fucking snake. And
yeah, man.
he runs off, and Gino's sitting there staring at Pops, and Gino's just like, what kind of fucking enforcer are you? And Pops is just like, you know what? I didn't care to be an enforcer. I don't even care to be a
Hmm.
cop. I only care to be what I actually signed up for.
I'm your daddy.
I may not be your father, boy, but I sure am your daddy. Call me Mary. See, they call me Pops. It's short for Mary
Mary
Poppins.
Poppins. Hell yeah. But yeah, they have a nice little tearful last moment.
It's really sad, dude. Like this
And
part, that shit had me,
yeah,
clutching. I
dude.
was just like, oh no.
Yeah, it feels bad, man.
It's like no, dude. I almost teared up. I was watching that part. I was
Hmm.
like, oh shit. But Kogami just runs
So
out, and Kogami is trying to flush him out, but Makishima is doing the same thing. Except Makishima's running
yeah,
around
man.
like the Phantom of the Opera.
It's like, yo, you fucking loser. What does it feel like to be all alone and whatnot? And Makshima's like, well, given this system, we're all alone. We're all prisoners within it.
And it's funny hearing all this coming out of your fucking
Uh-huh.
mouth. And he
Uh-huh.
shoots. Makishima is sitting there, basically just throwing a different illusion through
He
a
pulls the
mirror.
fucking mirror on him.
Dude, I'm just like, what the fuck is this? And Makishima shoots the mirror, of course. Um,
And
and
Kogami shoots the mirror.
yeah, Kogami shoots the mirror,
Yes.
and in comes Makishima, but now it's a fucking knife fight.
Yeah, dude.
Because Makishima come in and threw the gun, like knocked the gun out of his hands, and He pulled out his fucking razor blade. Kogami pulled out his little shiv, I guess is what it looked like to me.
Yeah,
Until it closed in later. It was an actual fucking knife. But, and at the end of all this, you just get this interlock of them staring at each other and just, you know,
it's fucking fight time.
philosophizing towards each other.
Yeah,
And Akane is running her fucking heart out, dude. She's
yeah. She is running super big, super fast, trying to get to them.
yeah, and then we get brought into fucking episode
22.
22.
Let's get ready to
So we get this
rumble.
fucking awesome recap, and then it brings us to the continuation of this fight, and they're going at it. He's getting shit whipped with this dynamite like sleeve that he's got. He's
Uh-huh.
trying to get cut. They end up like hitting each other with the knives.
Mm-hmm.
And then Makishima brings him, pins him down to the ground. And
Dude, this shit because it's like fucking Kogami's in a fucking like submission hold,
yeah,
and he swings the knife down, and Kogami fucking parries that shit.
he
Wow.
really does, dude. So Kogami's on the ground in this fucking chokehold almost, and Makishima's like, "You just never learn." And he brings the knife down, and Kogami somehow flips the blade around in his hand, parried
Yeah.
the shit. It said, "Parry this, you filthy fucking casual." Flips him over, cuts his fucking, I think it was his arm, I think, or was it side?
Yes. I'm trying to think. I'm not so sure, but something got cut
Either way,
on
Makishima
Makishima.
got severely cut. It was a bad cut. And
Mhm.
they were about to fight again until they went to go
So
interlock, and this fucking EMP grenade goes.
yeah,
This was a
dude.
sick shot, dude.
Yeah, dude, fucking Makishima like fucking back like kick flips the fucking
Yeah, he kick flips off of Kogami, and Kogami just kind of jumps backwards with the momentum
yeah.
from Makishima's jump off of him. So they pretty much just use each other to bounce away from the EMP.
Yeah.
And the EMP is just launching upward into the air, and it
Hmm.
blasts. Of course, it was just meant to be used as a distraction because it's not going to do any real damage to nobody. Slight damage because it's an electrical grenade, but
Uh
nothing serious. So it comes Akane. Akane is holding the Dominator towards Kogami, and Kogami is just like, whatever. Akane is just like, put the gun down, put it down.
stand the fuck down, Kogami.
She's like, down, boy, down right now.
And he's
And
like, oh, what? You just gonna fucking cuff me and like go and get him yourself? And she's like, well,
I'm not
really.
that fucking stupid, but here's a Dominator that is stuck on stun mode. You're not allowed to kill him, and if you even try to break away, I'll blow your fucking legs off.
Yeah.
And I love Kogami's rebuttal because it's like, I always knew this job would make you tougher, but I never thought you would. I thought you would at least still be nice about it. But I'll let you talk about the rest because I covered a lot from that scene.
Yeah, man. So, basically, we get this voiceover about how Akane says that the system should be fought for just for the sole fact that there's a chance it could be improved.
Mm-hmm.
And then so that they're fucking going, they're doing the little fucking stealth shit, you know, Metal Gear Solid, like James Bond style. And all of a sudden, fucking truck rolls in. Makishima's got a fucking truck now.
Dude, Makishima is nothing but a slithery fucking snake, dude.
Yeah, man. He tries to run over Kogami and Akane, and then all of a sudden Akane channels in her inner fucking Tony Hawk.
Dude, Akane's played way too much Underground, bro.
And she grabs that shit and holds on.
Dude, she's
I
holding
like
on for
how-
dear life, man.
I like how whenever it cuts to Makishima just in the fucking truck cab and he sees her, he's just like chilling. He just fucking stares at her vacantly.
Yeah, it's like,
He's just like
that's funny.
until she shoots a fucking tire.
Yeah, and then he's just like, oh shit, she just
She-
fucking did that, bro. And it launches, dude.
And the fucking
No fucking chance. Okay, so Akane is holding on to the back of this fucking thing.
Yeah.
The truck goes out of control, launches itself off of a bridge. Akane hangs on to this motherfucker the
Yeah.
whole time
Yep.
and still survives after it crashes into a fucking wheat field.
Listen, man, the wheat's very soft.
Fuck you. Like, no way, bro. Like,
It's
I said
very
it to you once, I will say it to you again. Do not try to simplify that. That is
it's very
horseshit.
it's super wheat. It's not even regular wheat.
Look,
It's probably way softer.
if you're gonna do that, at least do the normal anime thing and have her land on her feet like a badass. You know, like don't do
Listen,
that.
she's built different, but she's
Built
not built that
different, my
different.
dick, dude.
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
Although, man, I was like, no fucking chance. She's just as fucking. She cheats death more than Makishima does, bro. It's stupid.
Yeah, man.
But
But
go
so
ahead.
anyways, Makishima comes out and he gets the gun, puts his fucking boot on her head, and he gives her a little
good part, bro.
he gives her a little Two-Face moment, and he's like about to shoot her, and then it turns out, oh shit, gun's empty. Well, it looks like you survived the day.
He basically
And
he said like, "Oh, that's fate," and just
That's
walk.
fate.
And he
Oh, well.
shuffles off like a goddamn gremlin, dude.
Listen, man, he is very hurt right now, so it's
Bro,
the best he can
Dude,
do.
okay, for anybody who hasn't watched it, I'm gonna kind of explain what happened. So we go through that part with Akane, and he realizes that Kogami's on their heels. So he just goes to walk away, but it does like an outward shot of the truck and him slightly in the corner of the screen, shuffling away like a fucking hobbit or fucking Gollum would, just trying to get through the damn wheat field. Dude, he's just hobbling along, but it looks like he's just kind of halfway running. It's so fucking stupid. It looks so dumb. Which, okay, of course, I understand that this man is severely injured.
Yes,
But it was still funny and
it's still
to
pretty.
watch.
It is pretty funny.
They animated it in such a way. It was just so. It was so funny, dude. But go ahead.
Kogami comes in, he reloads, and he starts pursuing Makishima. And we get this very interesting dialogue from Makishima about how he was alone, and how he became bored of how like automated the world became.
Oh man, I love
And
this.
then
Like the music
I like
in the
as
background.
he's running as well. The day is slowly turning to night to like signify that his time is running out.
It's turning into dusk. Like the
It's turning
sun's
into
setting.
dusk. Yeah.
Oh man, and the music behind this scene, dude,
Music
is
is
just
a
so.
really pretty piano piece is playing all while this is happening.
And it sucks that this is like what's finna happen. You know, it's
Yeah.
like I never saw it ending this way. Uh,
Um,
but go ahead.
okay, but what I like is like as he's running, he collapses after a certain point, and it has this wider range of like emotions on his face. Like first, it seems like he's experiencing some sort of thrill over how it's ending, and then it turns into almost like exacerbation,
Yeah,
almost.
like in a sense of like
Where
a
he
type
is.
of happiness, but sorrow.
Mhm.
Like he's happy that Kogami is the one to end him,
Yeah, and
but
he
he's sad that everything that he built up to do means absolutely
Mhm.
nothing now.
and
So
he mentions how he had this basically unshakable feeling that never crossed his mind that anyone but Kogami would be able to kill him. And as he's like super exhausted and somewhat at peace, he's just sort of sitting there on his knees in
enjoying the
the
breeze, dude.
sun's setting. You get this cool shot of the moon, and then Kogami comes up. And he asks Kogami, well, do you think you'll be able to find a replacement? And then Kogami's just like, well, I don't think so, but I sure as hell hope not.
Yeah, dude, that scene was just so fucking sad. And of course Makishima is the antagonist. Of course you kind of want it, like some people would have the idea of like, oh yeah, I'm glad this bastard's finally, taking his last breath, but at the same time you kind of sit back and you kind of feel for him a little bit in a sense of this man understood that the way of the world is corrupted. And he did everything he could to stand up against this. But the big conglomerate companies and the big overall thought of a higher being projected a negative view on what his like whole philosophy was.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just sad to see him living out this way, thinking that it's the right way, where it might be the right way, but you can't ever tell based off, being biased towards a certain situation.
Mm-hmm.
Or just in general conforming to the lifestyle that you've been in for so long. You expect nothing less, and to think that he was brought down by the very idea that he saw himself never conforming is super upsetting. But
It
I thought it
is.
was very poetic that he didn't die to a dominator, but instead died to an actual gun.
To an actual person.
An actual person, an actual gun.
Yep.
Bullets, man-made bullets brought him down instead of the sibyl system itself. I loved that ending.
Which with this episode, there's a lot of different sort of poetic moments happening. There's
but this one was the big one for me.
Yeah, there's like I said before, the time of day shifting from evening to dusk as his time is slowly running out.
And the studio that did this, man, their budget was crazy.
Yeah, man, they were good.
That animation was so fucking pretty. The way the wheat was moving, swaying with the wind.
Yeah.
The hair movements of Makishima as he was sitting there on his knees, and how it stopped right before he got his fucking head blown in. And then, oh man, it was just, that whole scene was phenomenal. It was amazing, dude.
And then
I loved it.
A monologue from Akane plays, which I'm pretty sure is one that's either similar or is the exact same one from the first episode.
Yeah.
Where she's talking about Kogami and Makishima. And then we get into the epilogue.
Dude.
So
this is crazy, dude.
Yeah.
So it cuts us over to Gino. Talking to his dad at the grave. And essentially in a overall summary, Gino, his psychopath reached 140. There was no returning from 140. He is now an enforcer. He was stripped from his inspector title and basically tells his dad that this is his new life. I know you expected a new path for me, but this is the life that I choose. This is the life that I'm... And he seems complacent with it.
Yeah.
He seems complacent with the idea of now he has the ability to worry without worrying about his own psychopaths.
It's very kind of poetic in that sense where throughout the entire series he's been very sort of stick up the ass, worrying about every little thing because of the fact that he's trying to maintain so much. But as soon as he becomes an enforcer,
he still
a lot
worries.
of that worry, he still worries, but it's a more healthy form of it.
Yeah, it's a more healthy version to where he doesn't have to stay so obsessed on not only their psychopaths, but his own.
And then I also like the fact, I like how the series, how I like this sort of arc of his of Gino's downfall into becoming an enforcer. I like how it's done throughout the entire series. It's very slow and gradual, and the warning signs are there and constantly there.
Yeah.
And in your face.
Yeah, the entire time, and then it finally happened.
It all culminates with the death of Masaoka.
Yeah,
and man,
dude, and that whole Masaoka scene. Then it cuts us over to him getting into this new and improved Akane in this nice little inspector suit. Instead of being in this, blue jacket with this black tie, black, suit. She's wearing black dress pants, a dress shirt, this nice overcoat. Just really professional suit look. to her, and I love it because it shows that she is now the head inspector of the team, and basically she's just like, Gino's just like, oh, thanks for bringing me here. And she's like, oh, no problem. This is my job, and chaperoning all of the enforcers is part of my job. And
I learned that from you.
I learned that from you from day one. I love how she still respects
Yeah.
him as a former inspector. Given the fact that Gino was unable to do all this, the way that she's able to do it is also a form of like poetic justice. She is taught a certain way, but she never conforms to the idea that the enforcers are dogs. They are people that she can trust in a situation that needs to be handled with a steady mind. And she always leans on the ideas and thoughts of her enforcers.
Yep.
And with this new outlook of enforcers, we get a basic play-by-play of the first episode.
Oh, wait, but before we continue, I want to reel it back a sec because there is a very, very big scene that we have not talked about, and that is
Talking
her
about the
report.
car?
No, her report with Sybil.
Oh,
After.
shit, we didn't talk about that.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
because that's before. I wanted to
I am
finish it up
so
because you don't
sorry,
start talking
dude.
about it. Because that's the one of the most important little footnotes
Well,
in the
you should have
epilogue.
stopped me, bro.
We got a little too far, and I wanted to just finish it.
Okay.
But so, basically, Akane reports to Sybil, and she's like, "Well, I didn't get Magashima. Are you going to kill me now? Am I not valuable to you anymore?"
I forgot about this.
And then the system's basically like, "Well, no. Despite your failing, you still have some value to it." And basically, Sybil lays out this entire plan to where they want to use her as an ambassador for the Sybil system to basically garner trust within the system, so that one day they can actually the Sybil system can unveil its true nature without causing a complete collapse.
Akane was not happy
And
about that.
Akane is like, is very much not happy about it. She's like, well,
I said
listen,
Akane.
yeah. She's like, well, listen. You're underestimating how people think. If someone decides there's a better system and everybody agrees with it, they'll just march right up here and shut you down immediately. And that you're right. That she describes Sybil as running on not just borrowed time but stolen time.
Right.
And Sybil, with its hubris, just laughs at her. And it's a very nice.
The Sybil system basically just tells her like, yes, go on, fight towards us, struggle, and help us to obtain our goal in the long run. Just because you're fighting doesn't mean that you're anything bigger than us. And just this constant fucking grueling laugh over her.
Yeah,
it's like, what the fuck, man? Like, that's insane. Sorry, I didn't mean to jump that. I forgot about that scene. That was all before the whole
Gino.
Scene, so
yeah,
sorry about that.
So speaking of the Gino scene, they mentioned that the new inspector has come in, and the new inspector is also a minor.
Yep.
And we get a little callback or to
play-by-play of the first episode.
I was gonna mention Shion and Yayoi just for a quick because it just shows them butt ass naked.
Well, yeah, you're right. I did. Okay, I thought that was like the very end, but it's not.
Nah.
Shion.
But I just wanted to mention that. But no, so mention what the very last scene of this season is.
So it's basically okay. So for anybody who's watched the first episode, it's exactly what happened in the other episode with Akane being the main inspector where Gino was, and the new inspector, which I can't remember her name, but it doesn't matter. New inspector, basically being where Akane was in the first episode by basically running through, same area.
It's raining still.
Yeah, it's raining still, and in comes the paddy wagon. And except this time, the enforcers are described in a very different way. And I really love it because this is the exact words that she used. These guys are enforcers. they are people just like me and you. They are very steady minds, they're astute, and they're very knowledgeable of situations. They are a very reliable tool to you, and they are all subordinate to you. But use them wisely. And I loved it because open the door, it's a whole new set of enforcers with Gino. You still had Yayoi, of course,
Mm-hmm.
but it's Yayoi, Gino, and then I think two other new
Two
faces.
other new enforcers.
And
Yes.
I don't know if the second season continues with them,
Yes, it does.
but that is an interesting ending to the first season.
Mm-hmm.
Um, very very nice. Oh my goodness! Like this
So
series was
so yeah. So what
inc-
would you think about this series, Red?
okay. So if you enjoy tons of literary quotes, edge of your seat fucking action, amazing and just lovely heart to hearts, character development, and just an insane roller coaster of a fucking storyline, you need to watch it. For
Mm-hmm.
anybody who hasn't watched it and you're listening to this episode and it just sounds amazing to you, that's because it is.
Yeah.
We do
Hey,
it no
go give it a
justice.
watch.
If it sounds as
It's.
thrilling as we are describing it, that's because it's 10 times more as thrilling by watching it.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't, like, just to prove to you how amazing this was, I barely took a single note in these 4 episodes. And that's
Mm-hmm.
how fucking attached I was to these 4 episodes. And you get the same energy out of every single one, and it keeps you grabbing. It keeps you like grabbing at them straws, wondering what's gonna happen next. It's very unpredictable. It's very, oh man, it's astute. It's amazing, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I literally don't have another adjective to describe it, but it's above and beyond the adjective that I can use to describe it.
How do
So,
you feel about having slept on it for so long?
well, it's not the fact that I slept on it. I never knew what it was.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
never heard of it. So this wasn't really a sleep for me. It was more or
Mm-hmm.
less of ignorance for me because I didn't know it existed. So
Ugh.
damn my ignorance on the manner of watching Psychopaths. Please,
But
with this being the finale, please, if you haven't listened to us before, go watch this fucking anime.
go go watch it. In fact, all the anime we have covered, we highly recommend you watch because almost everything we've covered so far has been really good.
Yeah, I agree, but man, this one
Mm-hmm.
takes the fucking cake, dude. I haven't I haven't had one that I enjoyed like this as much as I have with this one. So this is right now my number one that we've
Hell
covered on
yeah.
the channel. This is my number one that we've covered on the channel. Following
Mm-hmm.
that would definitely have to be, uh, as far as our channel goes, Chainsaw Man, and then of course Tanya.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my top three right now. What about you, Bopsto, for our channel?
The first channel, Chainsaw. I'd say Chainsaw Man, um, Mob, and I'd say probably also this. I really enjoyed rewatching Psychopaths
I enjoyed not
after
only
a good
watching
while.
this, but discussing things with somebody else who,
Mm-hmm.
where we can both give our thoughts and ideas on matters and just give different opinions. That was also the fun part about this because there's so many different ways to look at this because the characters are so dynamic and there's
Mm-hmm.
so many different
There's
theories and so many
it's
like
like
literary quotes that
it's like layers,
there's
it's like an onion.
like an onion. There's so much to talk about, and I feel like that we've done that very well.
I think we have
I feel like that this is probably the best series we've covered as far as
as like discussion.
discussion, and I think it's
Hmm.
just because of how beefy the discussion actually is.
Yeah.
As far as that goes, our second beefiest one would have to be probably Tanya.
Tanya, that's just because there's so much
God, there's so
information
much packed into 13 episodes,
in
dude.
terms of tactical planning and
Dude, it
whatnot.
was that was insane. That series was crazy too.
Hmm.
But other than that, I've said my piece. I will continue to tell you to go watch it, but I'm not gonna run the horse dry on that one. If you liked this video, just give us a good like. Please, please, give us a comment down and see. We'd like to hear how you guys enjoyed this, like this anime if you have watched it. Just some of your thoughts and ideas on the whole series as a whole, like what you thought about it, and we just want to hear from y'all. And
Yeah.
on top of that, if you like our channel a lot and you like our discussions, give us a subscribe. We're going to be trying to at least put out one video per week.
Hmm.
That's our goal, one video per week. And we're going to be covering some crazy stuff in the future.
Yeah, man.
We've got the newer stuff coming out this year. We're going to be covering season 2 of Jujutsu Kaisen. We're going to be covering Hell's Paradise. There's
Yeah.
this. What was that other one?
Uh, fuck.
There was another one.
Damn, I'm blanking on it. But there's some good shit.
There's
coming
some
up.
more. There's more coming. Just keeping that.
Mhm.
We will discuss further as my hiatus will be coming. We do have quite a few videos coming out covering
Yeah.
Cowboy Bebop.
Yep. Yeah, we'll be doing there'll be Cowboy Bebop episodes coming out.
We have been recording
it.
Cowboy Bebop in the background, so that we would have content to cover while I will be away, which will be a couple months. Given my son will be coming into the world pretty soon.
Mhm.
As far as recording from this video, he is 2 weeks away. I'm very excited, and I hope you guys enjoy the future content. And I think that's about it for me. I think I've said my piece. So, Bopsto, if you got anything else to add?
Like I said, I very much enjoyed going back and rewatching this series. This was one of the many series that were very formidable during my high school years that I watched that left a pretty big impact on me. Like I said, watching this series made me go and become interested in picking up a copy of Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, which is the novel that the movie Blade Runner is based off of, and whatnot. And just overall, like I just really love the show's use of like philosophical discussions and whatnot. It reminds me a lot of like Metal Gear Solid almost in that regard, in terms of literary references and whatnot. But other than that, it was just as good as I remember. And I'm very glad we decided to do this on the podcast because it led to some very, very good discussions.
It did. It did do that.
Other than that, like you said, Cowboy Bebop will be coming out next, and after that, we'll decide from there, depending on whenever he's able to come back from his hiatus. And other than that, I mean, it's just good shit all around. Go watch it. We can't say that enough. Go watch the series if you're at all interested.
Yes, please, please, please. But
And
other than that,
other than that, I guess I'll carry it away.
Go ahead, bud.
Well, I'm Bopsto, the Otoweeb.
And I am Red, the bald-headed wonder.
You just got done watching the Anime Boys.
The Anime Boys.
Boys.
See ya.
See ya.